Here we go on Podcast Twins again.
Once again, it's on, and we want to welcome everybody back. But before we get started,
Vince is going to tell you to like it and follow it and share it. Go.
That's exactly what I'm about to tell you. Make sure you do all the liking, subscribe, okay? Follow. Hey, matter of fact, tag somebody you like, okay? Or tag somebody you don't like. Just let's get this information out. And we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and we just want to thank you for following us and all that good stuff. We got one request. If you want to say something, don't just text us. Leave a comment on there because you might help somebody else, start some more dialogue. We appreciate you in the process.
And don't be afraid to tell us that we're wrong and we screwed it up and we got it totally, completely wrong, because we're not so rigid that we won't listen to the other opinions. If we have an opinion you disagree with it, we want to hear and we want you on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, they tell me we're wrong. They just text it. They don't believe it. No.
And that's fine, but you know what?
No.
I invited someone on the show. They don't want to come on because they don't want to have a debate on a specific topic that they feel really passionate about. And I'm like, well, why don't you just use it as an opportunity to educate people that think differently than you? It
would be a good idea, but, you know, I think people are a little nervous. They don't want to get out there. They're afraid of the backlash. But, hey, that's not what we're here to do. If anybody comes and sit in our guest chair, they know it's a wonderful experience. All of our guests leave here happy. Because we're not here to bash you. We just want you to tell your story. So, and if it turns out to be a debate, we're going to make fun of it anyway. So, you know, that's what we're going to do.
Never. I would never do such a thing. So let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to talk about Trump. I don't want to talk about Doge. I don't want to talk about politics.
None.
I want to talk about something really good.
Okay.
That Lou and Nick Chiara do, and they've been doing it for 31 years.
That's awesome.
They're the owners of Winners Award Group, where we shoot this podcast.
And we thank you guys for that.
100%. And we're both wearing our N.I.C.K.S camp shirts today.
That's right.
Because N.I.C.S stands for Nothing's Impossible for Cancer Kids. So this is a nonprofit that they started in memory of their dad, who passed of cancer, which is close to our hearts thanks to Chief Sam coming in here and your firefighter buddies that have been unfortunately touched in a bad way by the disease.
Yes.
And we've got our annual gala and golf tournament coming up.
Okay.
And it's at a course that we will be at shortly at Broken Sound Country Club, the old course.
Beautiful course, by the way.
Which they are playing the James Hardy Invitational today.
Okay.
Which we're going to go to and shoot some content and throw it out there.
Yes.
And it's an amazing course. It's a Champions Tour level course. It is pristine. I had the privilege of going to both the gala and the golf tournament last year.
Pristine.
And I told Lou and Nick that they do not charge enough of a donation for going to these two events because they are awesome times a billion.
Right.
So, Sunday, May 4th.
Okay.
Is the gala. It's a Sunday night. We started early because we know we got to play golf the next day. And
smart.
It's at Broken Sound in a beautiful, fully renovated, brand new clubhouse. Yeah, it's awesome. The auction is silly sick. You know, you talk about all these high-end golf courses.
Right.
Send us foursomes.
That's awesome.
So if you want to play golf in Palm Beach or Naples or Broward or Port St. Lucie or Fort Myers or Tampa, all of these places are up for grabs for auction, and they donate them completely. So none of the money goes to an auction company.
Right.
It doesn't go to any employees of the charity. 100% of their money goes to helping kids with cancer.
That's beautiful.
So I had the opportunity to go and play Broken Sound last year. And I tell you, it is the best value of any charity golf tournament I've ever been to.
Okay. Because it's charity.
$375 to play Broken Sound.
Right.
That's a course you're not getting in on.
No.
Usually when you play at a course that you're not getting in, it's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Right? $1,000. I've seen up to $2,500, $5,000.
And that's just to play. That's not even a charity event. That's just to go and play. So now with this $375, you're coming in and you're doing something good with it. It's actually going to a wonderful charity, and you can actually see your money work. And because it's a charity, it's also tax deductible depending on how you handle your business.
See your accountant or your CPA. We are not licensed to give accounting advice.
I'm just saying.
I think this is the no-brainer of all no-brainers as far as, look, if you're contributing money to anything, you want a charity that's using the money for good.
Right.
You want a charity that is doing something really fun that you can enjoy. Maybe take your wife to the gala and then play golf on Monday if you want to go to both things. And, you know, it's a Kentucky Derby theme because it's Kentucky Derby weekend.
Right.
And when I told my wife, she said two things. She said, one, I've been waiting for this gala since we went last year.
Nice.
And the second is, and she doesn't like going to events, by the way, because she likes to be an introvert a lot of the time.
Okay.
And it's not her thing to go to events all the time.
Right.
And I'm not really an evening event guy.
Okay.
I'd rather do a breakfast, a golf thing, a lunch. You know, evenings I'm toast.
That's because you're early riser.
Right. You get text from me at 4:30 in the morning.
Literally.
Sometimes you're at the firehouse and I get a text right back. Other times it's later, and that's okay. But she said, I'm gonna get the biggest effing hat I can find.
That's what's up.
So she's all in and excited about this thing.
And that's what you want. You want full buy-in from everybody that's coming because, like you said, not only is it because once the money's out of the pocket, the fun of these events are amazing. I've hosted and emceed and DJ'd many events, especially around Derby time. So once that theme kicks in, nothing else matters. Everybody's having a blast. The only good thing about this particular style event is while you're having fun, you get to see all the good stuff that's going down, and you hear about all these kids that get to go to camp, and you know you get to hear some of the success stories.
Yeah.
And it's a very touching thing to be a part of.
And the coolest thing is they've been doing it so long, and I'm privileged to be welcomed to the board recently. So
congratulations.
That's exciting. Thank you very much. But they've been doing it 31 years, and they raise over $300,000 in 2 days. So they're not a charity that does 15 events a year or 20 events a year. It's literally all of the money is raised in 2 days, and it does not go to cancer research. I want to make that clear, right? It's not going to the American Cancer Society to pay doctors to research cancer. It's going to help these families with their children's mental health and their mental health while they're going through chemotherapy, radiation, all of the other potential treatments that they do for various cancer. So they send them to Camp Boggy Creek up in Eustis, Florida, which is north of Orlando.
Okay.
It was started by General Schwarzkopf and Paul Newman.
Okay.
So
a couple names you know.
But the Orlando Magic built the basketball court.
Okay.
The SeaWorld built the handicap accessible pool.
Okay.
They've got horses for equine therapy. They've got the Patch, which is a hospital that looks like a circus toy place, not a hospital.
Like Patch Adams.
It's called the Patch because they patch them up there, right? Okay.
Yeah, but remember the movie Patch Adams with Robin Williams?
Yeah.
So
the really cool thing is they sew these bears for them.
Okay.
And that's all donated by volunteers. One of the Chiara brothers' wife, Amy, kind of leads that up. And they take these bears back home with them. And they did these studies about mental health while you're doing through cancer. While you see that bear sitting on your shelf or your bed, and it brings back the really happy memory of hanging out with all the other kids that were just like you, dealing with the same stuff. But they have some 8-year-olds that they helped many years ago that are now social workers and oncologists.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because then you get to N.I.C.K.S scholarships, which is where they say, okay, we've got an exceptional person that beat cancer, plus there's a financial need for college, and they've even gone to the level of getting them into medical school.
Hence what I said, once you get to the event, you get to see where the money's going, but how the results are from those that did win that battle, get to come back and now you get to hear their success stories and meet these people and get to share their experiences. I mean, something like this is absolutely unbelievable, and he made a very good point that it's not going to some big, huge conglomerate company where it's not going to where you want it to go. This event absolutely supports the kids directly. And all of it goes to support the kids directly. So
Yeah.
what a beautiful thing.
And there's 2 other programs because they had too much money, so they needed to help the kids more. Good problem to have.
That's the best problem in
There's
the world.
N.I.C.K.S Golf, which is through the First Tee of Broward. They
Okay.
teach kids with cancer a shortened version of the golf program.
Right.
Which
It's
is
a great
really,
program, by the way.
It's really a life skills program based around golf.
Okay.
Because they have the 9 pillars that make you a good human being, and they teach those within the framework of golf.
Okay.
And then the Florida Panthers gave a grant to teach them ice skating. So there's N.I.C.K.S ice skating, which I think both of those programs are coming up fairly soon as well. So I'm proud to be a part of it. I told you, let's throw the N.I.C.K.S
Right.
camp shirts
Absolutely.
on and talk about
Without
this.
question.
And yeah, check it out. Go to the ChiaraFamilyFoundation.org. That's CHIERA, familyfoundation.org. You can sign up. You can sponsor. You can do just the golf. You can do just the gala. You can do both. And we'd love to see you there.
Give them that information again. How can they reach you?
ChiaraFamilyFoundation.org. And
Spell
it's
that one more time.
CHIERA. It might have been pronounced Chiara
Right.
in Italy.
Right.
So where they are from, where their father was from. So love to see you there. I'll be there. I know Vince will be there.
I'll be there.
Hopefully Kerfton will show up. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a fun time. You're going to have some great swag since, the owners of the major sponsor might have some great swag. Championship belt trophies for the winner is
Nice.
kind of our signature. And the gala is great, man. And if you want to, spend $400 on a foursome that should cost $1,000 or more, it's a good way to, play some really cool golf courses around Florida and sometimes beyond Florida.
Sometimes beyond. Hey, listen, once again, great opportunity to come out, meet some new people, but to see a real charity go to work in the right direction, try to put it directly where the needs are. And I love the growth process, like you said, because those that win, they get an opportunity to go to college. And then the other one, the golf camp. So, and partner up with First Tee, great program, by the way. Great program. So, hey, I don't think it could be a better partnership.
I mean, First Tee is technically responsible for us meeting.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I started the On Par podcast with Sean Kicker, who was with First Tee of Broward. He was the director at
There
the
you
time.
go.
He's moved on to a different career since then. But and then you came to me through Dawn, our good buddy Dawn Smith.
doubt,
Hi,
no
Dawn
doubt.
from Gold Crown Golf Services, the
Yo.
tournament planner,
That's
the
it.
league planner, the golf trip planner, Dawn Smith.
Yo, ski.
And then, we came in here and promoted your Pompano Kappas tournament, which is probably coming up again.
Another great fundraiser where the money goes directly to where it's supposed to go. Yes, and we'll be doing it again September 6th in Pompano Beach at the Pompano Municipal Golf Course. Again, tea time will be early. Matter of fact, the save the date, I'm looking at a text message right now. The save the date is coming out today, but you can always find us on Eventbrite at Pompano Kappas, and you'll find out, follow us there, Pompano Kappas. And you can follow us there, and it'll pop up when the save the dates and all that stuff.
And there you have it. Okay.
Whoop, there it is.
So, since we talked about cancer a lot,
Yes.
I know that we have to be controversial a little bit, or at least say something that's going to make people pay attention.
Okay.
So I would like to talk about, and this is something that's close to your heart with your firefighter buddies and your family at the firehouse that has been affected by this. And Chief Sam came and talked about it extensively, which we appreciate, and we'll have him back so you guys can fight about politics. But that'll be a fun one. For me, I might just throw a few grenades and just listen and just hang out. But my wife says I do that sometimes anyway, allegedly.
That's what you do.
Allegedly. So let's talk about, cancer treatments are very harsh. I mean, everybody that I've spoken to, if they're on radiation or chemo, they've been through the worst of the worst,
Yes.
right? I mean, it weakens your body, it weakens your immune system. You can get hurt easier, you can get sick easier.
Yeah.
They have a lot of unintended effects other than just killing cancer cells. So I started learning about this, 7 or so years ago when I got really interested in CBD.
Okay.
And the fact that they say that either hemp and or marijuana can cure cancer cells, and I think they were prescribing it. I think they were trying to make a synthetic version of it that was killing people, so they stopped. But CBD has some health benefits. Forget about marijuana for a second, because
we're talking straight
that's a
CBD.
different animal. But
Right.
and one of the things that they talked about was killing cancer cells. So then you start looking at, okay, well, what else could potentially kill cancer cells? And I know this is something that, as a health guy, you've researched, you've read a lot about. So, are there any alternative methods, Mr. Waterfast, hint, hint, that are allegedly killing cancer cells?
Okay. And again, we are not medical professionals as far as giving out advice. But what I will say is, when you follow the money, you follow the problem, right?
That's our theme.
So
that's our theme.
And when I started following the money, I started to follow and find out that certain things are purely just for the money, not necessarily for the cure. So we'll skip past that and kind of move forward to answer your question. There's a lot of research out there that, if you want to check on your own, that will clearly state that the number one thing that feeds cancer cells is sugar. Sugar feeds cancer cells. So there are some progressive doctors out here that understand that and are, I don't want to say don't want to make money, but they understand that, hey, look, in addition to whatever treatment I'll give, I'll recommend to my patients that they go on a ketogenic diet, which removes the sugars and the carbohydrates from there, and at least will make the stop the growth of the cancer cells, because again, they feed off of sugar.
And alcohol has a lot of sugar in it.
Right, 7 grams. 7 grams
you can't
per.
Leave that out of the conversation.
Absolutely. So sugar is sugar. Don't matter how you get it. Whether you get it through bread, whether you get it through pasta, whether you get it through white sugar, whatever you get it, it's sugar. It converts to sugar. So there is a person that I know who was aging, and they were concerned that she was going through and entering into a stage of dementia. And it rocked my world. I get a call from her daughter and said, wow, can you believe the neurosurgeon said, the neurodoctor who was evaluating her was like, if she has any, it's very slight. But hey, I'm going to prescribe her ketogenic diet. She called me and it rocked her entire world, because she was like, wow, no meds, none of this stuff, because now what are they calling dementia? Type 3 diabetes, right? Basically it's the third level of diabetes.
That. Yeah, sure.
Because the brain needs cholesterol. The brain is cholesterol. The brain is cholesterol.
I thought cholesterol was bad.
Oh yeah, that's because they want to sell you some more drugs. They want to put you on a statin that breaks your junk.
Should I eat seed oils too?
Oh,
I'm joking.
Another thing that breaks your junk.
We're not going back.
So,
let's go ahead.
But I was very pleasantly surprised to hear that doctor, who was actually, middle-aged man at that point, I would say anywhere between 40 and 55, at that point, who was treating at that point 89, 90-year-old woman, that was his diagnosis. I was so pleasantly surprised, because usually at that point, they break out that pad and start prescribing the Namendas and all these other, memory saving drugs. But the truth is if you stop giving the body the thing that's killing it, the body wants to heal itself.
Okay.
And
which makes sense.
Just so you know the person didn't go full keto, but they did make certain changes. Alive, healthy, mid-90s, loving life.
That's good. God
Sharp
bless.
as a razor.
Well, let's talk about keto for a second.
Let's talk about it.
So I'm very familiar with the couple of different carnivore diets, right? You could do the all steak one, you could do the steak and eggs one, you could do the just eat meat one,
or the meat or the animal products.
Right. And then
that's what I like.
How does keto work? Because that is something I don't know that much about.
So the difference between a carnivore diet, a traditional carnivore diet, and the ketogenic diet. is the percentages of protein. So the carnivore diet is you get the proteins you get with the fats you get from the steaks, whatever it is that you're doing. Keto, you actually should be measuring out because you want to have between 20 and 25 grams of protein and 70 to 75 grams of fats with 5% of carbohydrates, which would be the veggies and stuff like that.
Okay, so vegetable carbohydrates,
Vegetable
not
carbohydrates,
plain white
yes.
bread.
Yeah,
That's like the worst possible thing to eat in the U.S. basically.
Vegetable carbohydrates that are hydrating. So we're talking like green beans and these other things that produce water when you do that. And a veggie and fruit, because they do have a fruit that you can have with their primarily berries and stuff like that.
Can you eat rice?
That would take you, nothing would probably remove you from keto faster than rice,
or
bread,
white
pastas,
bread or pasta.
any of those things. Any of those things that convert to sugar.
Okay.
So that's the biggest difference between keto and carnivore is keto is, again, the proteins are smaller and your fats, you're looking to burn. You want your body to run on ketones, basically, and so you feed it fat to burn fat.
All right.
But the two things that don't mix, like they claim oil and water, is fats and carbohydrates. If you're going to have a carbohydrate-rich diet, so they'll say, if you go back into my era in the 80s and 90s when bodybuilders were doing 45, 45, 10, 45 protein, 45 carbohydrates, and 10% fats. And those fats were very specific because, again, protein, carbohydrates and fats, they don't really work well inside the body together. So you got to kind of make a choice. So you're going to be a fats guy, you're going to be a carbohydrates guy. So the reason it worked back then is they would just eat chicken, rice, and maybe a little, olive oil or something like that. That's what they called their fat. So it literally was just a very little fat throughout the day. They primarily ate proteins and carbohydrates. But without the fats, you didn't have the clogging of the hearts because clogging of the arteries so much because of the fats and the sugars, they meld together. So if you go and have a ketogenic diet where you have mostly fats, very little carbs at all, meaning in your carbs and veggies, it doesn't clog again because, again, the sugar needs something to stick to. Easiest way I like to say is I say take your finger and wet your finger and grab some sugar and rub it together. Mm-hmm. Wet your finger, grab some butter and rub it together. Which one will stick?
Butter. No,
the sugar. The sugar turns into this sticky paste-like situation. Yeah. The butter's still very viscous. It's slippery.
Ooh, viscous. SAT word of the day.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
Go.
Like Slick 50. That those who used to drive Mustangs back in the day. So basically, this won't stick unless it has something to stick to. So if it's just if you just have fats in your diet, you don't have that artery clogging. You're going to kill yourself with the Atkins diet. Those people were dropping weight like crazy and getting lean, and they were telling them you're going to kill yourself. Mm-hmm. Your cholesterol is going to go off the charts. You're going to have clogged arteries. That's never been proven. Mm-hmm. But when you have a carbohydrate-rich diet, they say, "Hey, that's the way you're supposed to eat. You're in perfect health. You got the spare tire around your waist, but hey, you're eating a balanced diet."
Well, that's the same as drinking beer, right? Beer's a scam.
Beer's a scam.
Even though Vince is still drinking it, he admits that it's a scam. Are you out now?
I rarely drink beer.
Right.
I've always rarely drank beer.
I've been thinking about not drinking at all.
We've been tossing it, hitting it across the net a little bit, and I do have my periods where we just completely pull it. But beer was one of the easiest ones for me to pull. When my buddies stopped working for Bush and Anheuser-Busch, it made it that much easier. Shout out to Kevin.
Because free beer is easier to drink.
It is way easier to drink.
Beer you have to pay
when I stopped going to those events, it made it a lot easier to put the beer down. Plus, again, if you're working out and you're drinking beer, it's kind of a counterproductive thing.
Cancel it out.
Yeah, it just didn't work out for me, and it bloats me. So I will have, on an annual basis, if I have 6, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's usually if I'm going to that place that serves them at 32 degrees cold, out there with,
Pompano 26 or whatever it's called.
usually Twin Peaks or something like
Twin
that,
Peaks, okay.
where they serve
The
it.
Naughty Brunette at Twin Peaks is a delicious beer.
But this is what I'm
It's a
saying.
delicious
So and if it's something that I've never had or craft, I'll try that. So
Okay.
but it's not my go-to if I'm going to order alcohol going out. It's not the case. Usually it's a whiskey, vodka, tequila type situation versus beer, because you just feel huge. And you are huge because
Well, I think one of the reasons I've stuck to the eating lifestyle, let's call it, of not eating garbage, essentially, and I'm not keto, I'm not really carnivore, I'm probably 90%, like you say, right? 90%.
keto carnivore is what I call it.
But I'm not eating, cookies or chips or pretzels or white bread or any seed oils or any of that stuff.
Okay.
And I like not being injured.
Yeah.
I like feeling really good, better than I did 5 years ago. I met a young lady that I've seen at probably 6 charity events.
Okay.
And she was at the Celebrity Broadcasters golf tournament, and she was working, and she recognized me mostly because I got the unique style beard, right? Like people recognize me by my beard. And she goes, "Oh, hey, how are?" She didn't remember my name. "How are you? You look great. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you eating better?" And she and I go, "Yeah, pretty much like carnivore." And she goes, "Oh, did you do the real one with the steak only?"
Yeah.
And she's a fit young lady. She works for Hooters.
Okay.
So she's at a lot of these events.
And she's out of a job now.
Well, I don't know about. I mean, bankruptcy's a funny thing, but
anyway, go ahead.
There'll still be Hooters open somehow, right? Just like there's still. There was still Blockbusters open till like last year, even though Blockbuster's been bankrupt for
Kmart,
10 years or whatever. So, and she goes, "Oh, I'm doing the real carnivore."
Okay.
And she's like, "I eat steak and eggs and that's it."
And I tell you what.
And she's like, "Don't eat turkey anymore. Don't eat chicken." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Don't eat turkey and chicken?"
Well, I will tell you, when I first did it, the very first time I did it, that's how I did it. And it was the best results that I could have. What happens is that you go out. I'm a social person. I'm out. You're out. We're out amongst all these things. And these beautiful things that smell good start to penetrate your nose. And you start to thinking, well, okay, I can have this, but I'll switch and have that meat or that meat or that meat. But truly the best I felt was when I just did steak and eggs twice a day. And it's not even expensive. And I would go to Costco and do all that stuff, because if you're only eating twice a day, if you add up, you people that get up and go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks in the morning, look at what you spend on your coffee and your sandwich that you get, the croissants or whatever, add up what you're spending for lunch. And then think about the groceries that you bought that you're going to make for dinner at home. Hopefully you're making dinner at home. If you look at what you're spending in the day versus when I go buy a big, huge ribeye and have it sliced up into 10 cuts.
Stop, you're making me drool.
Those 10 cuts will last me 5 days, right? And you spend about, well, nowadays it's like $105, $110, maybe more. But back then when I did it, it was like $75. They would cut it up. And that's what that would back then with 3 or 4 eggs, that it was the best I felt. And it really, really worked. And of course I cooked everything in butter. But
so are we less likely to get a disease like cancer because we're eating the way that we eat?
According to these newer researches, we're hoping that that's the case. And we're hoping that we're doing as much as we can do,
with the limitations that are presented.
Yeah, because I mean, we don't know. I mean, look, the things that we're exposed to today, as Sam was talking about, is insane. Just in the general everyday walking around society, because even the hamburgers you used to be able to get at McDonald's in the 70s were all beef. All of them.
Well, you can still get an all beef hamburger at McDonald's. You just have to go to a different country.
Well, yeah, but there's at least the quarter pounder is what I understand is the highest quality of beef that they produce. And you can see the difference in price. You can get a 49-cent cheeseburger, but you're paying what, $5 for a quarter pounder, at that spot. And again, I'm just using that as an example. But I tell you what, I'd rather have those forms of beef if I'm in a pinch than to have the fries and the bread. So you can do the best you can with a smaller budget. And there's other people out there, and especially in the keto world, that really talks about it, carnivore world. Hey, look, if you don't have no money, go to Costco, buy the big thing of ground beef, and get you the big case of eggs, and make yourself, hangover burgers every day.
You can do that at Winn-Dixie and Aldi, man. I mean, they got great meat at Winn-Dixie.
Absolutely.
And Aldi's got the least expensive eggs. Even when eggs were $8,
Yes.
they were like $6
Yeah.
at Aldi. And my wife's like, "Oh, why are you spending money on eggs?" And I'm like, "Look, it's still the cheapest breakfast I can make. If I make 4 eggs, 2 for me and 2 for my son, I only used $2 worth of eggs by my quick math." So I made breakfast for $2,
and
you ain't going anywhere and making breakfast for $2.
And again, that's the way we have to look at it. You if that's the way you're going to decide to eat. So we shopped for the firehouse yesterday. We shopped at Aldi's and bought the 100% grass fed beef that comes in the 1.5 pound
packets,
1.5 pound package, which they come in 1 pound at Publix. Publix is $10. These were $5.60 each. So I was able to get that. And so again,
Curfton, get Aldi on the phone right away. We need a sponsor. Let's go.
Eating. I don't want to say eating healthy. What I'm going to say is, when you choose your style of eating, you can do it the way you want to do it. I particularly love the meat and eggs as a primary staple, and I tell you, I felt amazing. My numbers always come out great now. I feel good. It helps you lean out. When I get in trouble is when I say, I take a little break here. I'm going on vacation. I'm hanging out.
What's an example of an Like what is your off my? I don't want to say cheating on my diet, because I don't consider it a diet. Right? Everybody else is on a diet.
Right.
You're eating real food.
I'm on an eating style.
You're eating real food. So when you don't eat real food, what's your kryptonite, Superman?
If I'm out to going on vacation, we wild out, right? Because they give you this little wristband. And everything is included, so you already found your favorite bartender, and they every time they see you, things are rolling at you. So the sipping gets a little wild. So as you sip, you want jump, and so usually it's the crunchy, salty, stuff that they're making for you right there on the resort. So instead of flipping the burger buns away, you're eating that burger bun.
But they can't give you pork rinds with just pork and salt?
They probably
give me
could.
Some bacon,
but they probably could, but
rinds,
it's not there. I'm on vacation.
Some beef jerky.
See, I'm on vacation.
All right,
and I'm an all or nothing guy.
Okay.
So there it is. I'm going to do that, and then oh my God, they got the Italian restaurant. I gotta try that. And so you wind up having blah 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 pasta. And it's not for me. I can pass pasta all day. Bread. That soft, beautiful bread that they bring to the table.
What about making your own sourdough? Can you make your own sourdough and it still be better, a lot better?
But we're talking on vacation.
No, I'm trying to solve a problem.
But
man. I'm always gonna solve a problem.
I'm not taking the ingredients to Cancun to make sourdough bread, dude. It's not happening. I'm going there 2 weeks. I'm not taking that stuff with me. But what I'm trying to get myself mentally prepared, because I've been doing so well lately, I'm saying, okay, I can still go have my mostly meat, egg scenarios in the island, or it's not an island, in Cancun. I can go do that and still pretty much stay on task. And, that is my commitment, because I'm sick of getting good results and then having 1 4 or 5 day binge, and now you picked up 8-10 pounds. Now you got to lose that to get back. So I'm not going. I'm telling you now, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to go and have a good time within reason and continue to make the progress that I'm making. So I will not give that away.
No, I was talking to Nicole, a friend of mine, yesterday at her office. She's a client also.
Okay.
And she's been kind of on that same carnivore keto journey that I've been on. Maybe she's a year ahead.
Okay.
And I asked her, because I have an opposite experience than what you just articulated. Because I can't eat junk food even if I want to now without it wrecking my stomach and making me feel like absolute crap. And maybe I'm lucky in that respect.
Maybe you are.
But like I can't do it. Like I mean, I went to an event Sunday from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday from 10 a.m. to like I think I left at 8:30 finally. And this was it was a show for work. I had a table, I had all my cool stuff on it. We had 225 directors of racket sports from all over the country at this thing for me to make friends with. And when I walked in there on Sunday morning, because it was all day Sunday, there was more freaking pastries.
Oh, yeah.
And this is at Boca West Country Club, by the way. 6 golf courses,
another beautiful
20
golf
tennis courts. I don't know how many pickleball courts.
No.
High. And
yes.
Drew shouldn't even be allowed in this place because he doesn't have enough money kind of place.
Right.
And I didn't touch any of them. Not a croissant. Not a bagel, not a nut, because I knew I'm going to have to be here all day, working, engaging, talking to people, meeting people. I had a dozen clients in the room already that I hadn't even met yet, because we've done business, but they haven't, we haven't met face to face. And I'm like, if I eat a bagel, I'm doomed.
Well, you're going to be, in
the restroom, 100%.
Making that sprint. Take your head off the pillow, put your feet on the floor, make a 50-yard dash to the bathroom, though. Diarrhea.
Look,
run.
My girls are out of town this weekend for another Disney run, which is another conversation for another 5 tequilas. I'll have to break my don't drink to talk about that.
Right.
But I told Nick, my son is 16, you know that. I told Nick, I said, look, man, we're going to eat steak all weekend. Steak and eggs on breakfast and steak all weekend. And he ain't fighting me, I tell you that, because, he's 16. He's noticing the young ladies. He wants to be in shape for sports. Like, he saw what I did, and he's like, what are you eating? And I'm like, I'm eating exactly what you see me eat.
Right.
Steak, elk, bison, fish, chicken, turkey, eggs, Greek yogurt. That's basically the list.
That's a beautiful list right there. And
I ate rice and beans yesterday, and I wanted to die.
Yeah. And that hurts your feelings, though, because your mind is saying, I can't wait to destroy this. And it probably tastes amazing.
It hurt.
But then it does. Well, okay, so we had a birthday at the fire station the other day. And
who broke out the ice cream cake?
They came with the ice cream Carvel cake. And let me tell you something. On the way into my halfway through my piece, I said, I'm going to pay for this later. Because I could feel the first bloop, bloop, bloop. I said, oh, God.
See, I'm the opposite. I would have said no thank you. And then taken the bullshit. Like, I would have taken the shit from everybody because I don't want to feel good.
And I
mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to feel bad.
You don't want to feel bad. I halfway through, I said, it's going down. I'm not going to, it's going to be a bad night. I slept horribly. For the times when I was there, stomach just was doing flips all night long, all the way through the next morning. So, and here's the funny thing. Through my little experience, I realized that, again, yes, I know I have a level of lactose intolerance, which lactose just purely means sugar. When you see OSE at the end of it, it's because of the sugars. So that's a good thing, is that I'm intolerant of sugars that come with dairy. So, but Bluebell, I can eat that all day long, no problems. But like you said, it's better for me because, look, I'm an extremist. I better say no to it all, or else I'm going to say yes to it all.
Okay.
So I've gotten pretty good at the no to most all, and again, it's mindset. So that's why I'm working on my mindset before I even pack a bag to go on this trip. Because if I'm in the mindset, plus I went back to doing old school P90X. So I'm sitting here sore as hell right now. week 3 of P90X, and let me tell you, it's a beast, but I love it. As Tony Horton used to say, I hate it, but I love it. So I'm not going to give away all of this progress that I'm making because I'm going away for a week. Right. So I'm already working on my mindset. I've gotten it downloaded even on my phone because I may not even take my laptop.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be able to try to keep my schedule up. So what does that mean? That means at night, I can't go buck wild with my wristband and just had a guy doing this all night because I want to get up and do my programming the next day. So so it's mindset. So, but I tell you the mindset that will help you. It will help everyone. I have my aunt way back in the day. She had a stroke. Now, got to remember, my family from Mississippi, way back in the day, they were born between the early 1920s and the early 1930s. So I'm a super late baby. But either way, she was a large woman, like all the rest of the women in my family. They ate soul food. They cooked the best food you ever wanted to have, tasting wise. Smoked cigarettes, put one out with the next type situation, which was sexy back in the 40s. That because every movie star used to do that.
Well, doctors prescribed them,
and doctors was on the commercials. Anyway, so for weight control, nicotine is still a thing, by the way. But either way, she wound up having a stroke. Okay, at that time, she had just had a new grandchild. Okay. Very small baby at that point. She had a stroke. She had a pretty bad stroke, deficits and everything, whole one side of the body, whatever. So when she started to do her rehabilitation, he came to her and he said, listen, if you want to see this child grow up, because usually when you have a stroke that bad, they give you like 5 years to live. He said, if you want to have any chance to see this child grow up, you can never have another cigarette again. Now, this is a woman who's been smoking since she was a teenager.
2-3 packs a day, probably, right?
Probably one. But a solid one every day. So, and now we're talking, she's in her 60s at this point.
God bless.
So
she made some drastic changes.
Not even. She just said...
Stop smoking.
It said, because he said to her, if you want to see your grandchild grow, you can never have another cigarette again. That one cigarette may be the one that causes this stroke to come back and kill you.
Instantaneous.
Because she had a why that was bigger than her want. Bigger than her addiction.
Yeah, find your why.
Her why was bigger than her addiction. And she never saw... She eventually passed away, but this girl had graduated high school already. So she lasted like 17 plus years. When they gave her a 5-year diagnosis.
Well, I would argue don't wait till you have a stroke or a heart attack. Because I didn't have a stroke or a heart attack. I just didn't like 30 pounds of gut.
But I'm saying
and being fat.
But got to remember the era. The era that she came up in, if you were skinny, you looked like you were poor. My family used to say, if you came home, you look skinny. And they would feed you like Italians. They would want to feed you. So, but it also coming from the South, that meant that you were making enough money to eat too much. Okay. So it was kind of a crazy thought process. But
that was why politicians were fat.
Right,
then,
because it made them look successful. They're fat now too, but that's besides. That's McDonald's fat. But yeah, so you wanted to be. That's what they called a healthy look when you had a full face, which is insane. But then the smoking was the thing of the era, because like they may have drank a little bit back then, but they didn't. Drinking wasn't the big huge to do, especially for women. It was smoking. The smoking was the fashionable thing to do. I mean, I remember being a little kid on the airplane, man, we were talking about that was saying, right? Restaurants, and they talking about no smoking. Yeah, but that's the smoking section. This is the non-smoking section. I'm having cigarettes with my cheeseburger.
Like, I'm old enough to remember when we had the smoking and the non-smoking section. Thankfully, that's something my kids will never have to deal with.
So but again, I went all of that way to say that she had to overcome a lot. Her why had to be bigger than her whole lifestyle growing up and becoming an adult in her 60s and having such a major stroke. Because look, doing what I do, people have that major stroke, and by the time they call 911 again, we showing up there, they're trying to hurry up and finish the cigarette because they didn't have a big enough why. Sometimes we'll have them smoking a cigarette with oxygen.
Yeah, I've seen
blowing
that.
in
or
your nose.
Smoking out of a hole in your neck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That addiction is bigger than a whole lot of whys. So fortunately, in her case, her why was bigger than her addiction.
Okay.
And so, in my case, my why is I'm busting my ass on this P90X. I'm not going to go backwards just so I can wild out and do all this crazy stuff because I'm on vacation. You know, and so that's my difference. And so this will be, if successful, when successful, will be the first full vacation that I've actually accomplished that goal. Because I've worked out on vacation before, but like maybe 1 out of 6 days, one out of maybe 2. On cruises, I will do it because the gyms there are amazing. But I never made it a priority. So because I'm on this 90-day schedule, I don't want to miss a day.
I started working out yesterday.
Okay.
It's been a while.
All right.
But it's like riding a bike, right? I still remember the techniques. I got some weights at the house. My son wanted to work out with me.
There you go.
We threw the football around for half an hour, 45 minutes. It started raining. I said, let's go hit the weights for 45 minutes. And we did. So now the trend starts for me too. So
that's it.
So today, which is day 2,
okay,
when I get home from the golf tournament that we're going to, Nick and I are going to work out again.
Beautiful.
So see me in 6 weeks for the results.
That's it.
But today is day 2.
Man, listen, this is the funny thing, because this program has a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can press pause, you can whatever, skip a couple days and do all that stuff. But
you're not gonna do that. You're an extremist. You're gonna do it.
I'm an extremist, so I'm pushing and getting week 3. The best part about week 3 is that deep soreness is starting to go away.
Okay.
So
I'm sure I'll have that about 3:00 today.
I'm just sore now, really sore. But that deep, I can't move sore is pretty much lightening up. And I mean, I found this program and I've had it for almost 20 years.
I was going to say, that's been around forever.
Yeah, and I pulled it back out, whatever, figured out how to get it to play. Beautiful thing. But I tell you what, it's still one of my favorite programs because it has a schedule. And the real big thing for me is
it requires discipline.
And I've never finished the 90 days.
But this time you will.
This is my goal because my high school reunion is going to culminate right around that 90th day. So we'll be in Jamaica.
So what day is today?
This is week 3. I have
week
to look
3.
on
Okay, that's fine. Week 3 is good
in week
enough.
3.
All right.
So it's going to culminate in going to Jamaica, where we'll have a swag bag that's going to be supplied by this wonderful company that we're sitting in right here. My man is hooking it up for us.
We got a few beach items for you, you know?
So we're having that put together, but that kind of worked out timing wise for me, that the program ends technically while I'm there.
You're going to be looking your best
or at least feeling my best.
Feeling your best and looking your best for the reunion.
Right.
I get it.
So that's what it is. So
okay.
That's my why, is that I started the program. I wanted to do the 3 day. I wanted to finish the 90 days. I think the most I've ever done, because I've done it several times, the most I've ever done was like 48 days. And then you allow yourself to go on vacation, whatever.
So let me ask you this. Are your high school friends still going to talk to you after they watch Podcast Twins, or you think some will be wigged out that we talk about controversial stuff?
Oh, no, they love it.
They love it.
Look, they've been knowing me all, since I was 13, man. So, listen, it's a beautiful thing.
Then I'm
even going to put it up on the big screen up there.
We got Debbie coming back.
Yes.
And I don't know what the heck she's going to talk about.
I love it. I can't wait.
Russ Cohen's been texting me and emailing me. I'll share it with you.
Listen.
He's got war on his mind, so we're going to be talking about war.
I got my silver, Russ.
We're going to be talking about throwing politicians under the bus where they belong. We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
That may be a bourbon day.
I'm okay with it. I'm thinking tequila.
Okay, tequila day.
I'm thinking tequila.
So either way, just stay tuned because we're going to have a lot more fun stuff coming for you. Today, Again, we just threw a bunch of stuff together because we really wanted to talk about Nick's camp and really push it out there and really encourage everyone to come out and do the right thing. Or even if you're not even in the state, you want to just make a donation, we'll give you the information again right here. Because
May 4th and 5th, we'll send the website out again. I already said it a couple of times.
And it's going to be pinned in the comments at the top. So, but once again, man, I just want to thank everybody for coming around to be with me and my twin.
Appreciate you,
We
Vince.
appreciate everybody, man. Hey, so once again, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, and hit that little bell icon. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, you can also go and leave a comment in the comments as well. So shout out to my truckers. They've been texting me that they've been listening to it on Spotify. So hey, I appreciate everybody, man. So
thank you. We'll see you next week on Podcast Twins.
We're out.